Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Regular Beer Reviews, where regular doesn't refer to the beers being reviewed, but to the reviewer, myself. I'm Jesse, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing a new beer that I've never had. Well, I don't know how new it actually is, but never had this one. It is from Samuel Adams. I do love Sam Adams, and this is their Third Voyage Double IPA. Now, I've had many beers from Sam Adams. I mean, like, a ton. But, this is one I only just saw. Never actually even seen it before, so I'm sure it's been around a little while. Let's look at the numbers on this. Beer Advocate gives this an 83, which is good, and that's with 817 ratings. Rate Beer gives it a 95 overall, with a 66 for the style. And the Bros give it a 79, which is just okay. It has an ABV of 8%, and it has a limited availability. It was brewed once. Um, it has 80 IBUs, and yeah, let's read a quick descript. Um, this unique double IPA takes the style's origin a step further. IPAs were born out of making an ale that could sustain a long voyage. For our take, we were inspired by the indomitable Captain James Cook, whose third voyage made him to navigate a treacherous route from England to New Zealand to the Pacific Northwest. Using Cascade hops from each of these regions, we created a brew that's citrusy, earthy, and full of bold character. Now, it says that on the back of the bottle too there, but here at the bottom it also says, at Samuel Adams, we love experimenting. This series of limited edition brews represents some of our favorite small batch creations. So this is the only one that I saw. But, you know, if they did a series of these, I definitely want to find some other ones. Because, again, I do love Sam Adams, and I really love the artwork on this bottle too. I like the, what the hell are those called? I can't think of it. I saw one on how it's made. It's a, I don't know, it's a navigation tool. I can't remember what the hell they're called. But, anyway, let's get this cracked open. Ooh, nice bit of smoke there. Yeah, it's like a witch's brew. Alright, let's go ahead and get this poured. Love that sound when these big bottles, when you pour them, they glug 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 glug. Oh god, I love that. Oh man, that is a gorgeous looking Imperial IPA, or double IPA. It's the same thing, but god, that is medium brown, kind of dark red, a lot of ruby tints there, very hazy. Wouldn't call that translucent at all. I mean, light's definitely coming through, but can't see any definition through it. Seems to be pretty clear as far as like free of floaties. I'm not seeing anything floating around in there. Didn't look in the bottle, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything on the bottom there. So yeah, looks like a nice beer. It's got a nice. I'd say that's about a 1.5, maybe 2 finger, not quite 2 finger, about 1.5. Very creamy looking, slightly off-white head, like a beige, very light beige. Looks very creamy, very small bubbles. Carbonation seems very light. I'm seeing bubbles streaming up, but very few. Let's go ahead and get a nose on this. Oh wow, for 80 IBUs, it doesn't smell that bitter. I'm getting a nice citrusy hop, very citrusy. Smells, reminds me a lot of a grapefruit. I'm getting kind of a sweet malt. Malt seems to be more in the back end there, which is, I mean, it's a hop forward beer. It's an IPA. That's what you'd expect. Kind of a sweet malt, slight toffee notes. Maybe some spices. maybe like a little coriander, a little ginger, just a tad bit of spice in there. Does have a little bit of an earthy smell to it. Well, let's go ahead and dig into this one. That's pretty good. And for 80 IBUs, I mean, I can definitely, there's some bitterness that lingers, but I wouldn't quite think this was 80 IBUs. It's pretty good though. The bitterness kind of is lingering though. It's not super bitter, but the bitterness definitely lingers at the back of the palate. Up front though, I get hit with citrusy hop. You know, a little piney, but really citrusy, kind of a fruity hop. It's pretty earthy, almost just that. Really like a. God, I'm trying to think of what, like a fresh, like a vegetable with an earthy, like just that kind of like a turnip or something. Just the not so much in the flavor, but just that the feeling it kind of leaves in your mouth. It's hard to describe, but that earthy quality there. It's oily. Can definitely just slightly piney, citrusy, oily hop. Definitely has that earthy quality to it in the mouthfeel. Excuse me. And then the bitterness, I mean, it's kind of sweet at the front end with that. It's kind of a sweet citrus hop. Does remind me a lot of grapefruit. And then I'm getting hints of those, like I said, it's like spices, a little bit of coriander. I'm picking up on a little bit. I doubt this was brewed with coriander, but there's something in the aroma and the slightest little bit in the flavor. Reminds me of like coriander and something else. I can't quite put my finger on it, but maybe nutmeg or something. But anyway, then the bitterness starts, like front to mid palate, and then kind of the bitterness is there, but you can taste the malt, and not a huge malt profile. This beer isn't like amazingly balanced. It is a hop forward beer, so you want that hoppy flavor there, but a little more malt, you know, I wouldn't mind. But it is a hop forward beer, so I don't know if, I mean, maybe it's just my tastes. I mean, I do like a really hoppy beer, but it's just the malt, it's just barely there, getting the slightest little bit of like a kind of a sweet toffee malt or something, and then like just the slightest little hint, and then the bitterness overtakes it, and that's it. But overall, though, I do like that kind of oily mouthfeel. Um, Super bitter. Again, I wouldn't think it was 80 IBUs. I had, God, what was it? I did one a week or so ago. I think it was Shipyard's Monkey Fist IPA. That had something like, God, I think it was like something like 70 IBUs or something. And it tasted like there was more IBUs than this beer. Um, this has 80 and doesn't taste, you know, nearly, it's not quite as bitter as that, but it is pretty bitter. I would take it for like maybe 70. I'd take this beer for maybe 70 IBU, 65, 70, not 80 though. 80 is a lot. But then again, like Dogfish Head's 90 Minute Imperial, I'd never ever take that for 90 IBUs. I mean, that I would have to, I think would be like, kind of like this, 70, 65, 70, maybe 75. Which, I don't know, then again with this beer, 70, 75 and 80 is pretty close. I'd say like 65, 65, 70. I wouldn't take it for 80 though. But it's a good beer. Not super well balanced, but again, well, I say that just because it's how I'm perceiving it, because of my taste. I mean, the bitterness isn't like in the realm where I think it's too bitter, but it's just the flavors of the hops. They just overpower the malt profile so much. I mean, it's just the slightest little bit of like kind of a toffee or a caramel malt. But yeah. Anyway, for 8%, this is a pretty big beer, but it's definitely good though. I'm gonna give this beer an 8 out of 10. I do like it. It's limited, so I'll probably pick up another one if I see it again. Um, it's leaving some nice lacing on the glass too. You can see there. But I'm gonna pick this up if I see it again. If you see it, I would say definitely pick it up. This is Samuel Adams Third Voyage Double IPA. Again, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, and I think it's a pretty good beer. Pick it up. So thank you for watching, and keep watching again in the future for more reviews. Prost.